In the distant sector of Varnax 9, a beleaguered colony floated amidst the cold void, its skeletal structures battered by years of orbital bombardment. The Zelvorians had arrived like a plague, their triangular dreadnoughts blotting out stars as they imposed their iron will. The colonists, scattered and disheartened, had long abandoned hope. Supply lines were severed, their messages for aid went unanswered, and whispers of humanity's distant power had faded into legend. Commander Lyra Selvig paced the observation deck of the colony's central hub, her fingers tracing the glowing holographic map that depicted the encroaching Zelvorian fleet. Her eyes, once bright with ambition, now carried the weight of despair. "We're outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched," she muttered, voice barely audible over the hum of failing generators. Around her, the remaining engineers and defense officers avoided eye contact, their silence louder than any cry for courage. Yet far beyond the rim of the sector, in the quiet darkness between known stars, a small signal pulsed through the void. It was faint, almost imperceptible, a frequency not used by any known Zelvorian communications, yet unmistakably structured. The signal carried a promise, a rhythm of calculated power. Lieutenant Heron, monitoring the comm array, froze. "Commander, it's human." Lyra's head snapped up. "Impossible. We haven't had contact with Earth or any Terran fleet in decades." Heron nodded, disbelief shadowing his face. "It's not decades. It's centuries. But the signature, it's authentic. They're coming." In the heart of the galaxy, humanity had grown in secret, quietly perfecting technologies that bent physics to their will. Starships that could survive gravitational collapse, fleets that could project power faster than thought itself, and weapons that seemed almost alive, responding to the will of their operators. The Zelvorians, in their arrogance, had never accounted for such ancient, hidden prowess. Back at Varnax 9, sensors detected the first traces of their arrival, a series of silent dots moving with unnatural precision, faster than anything Zelvorian tracking systems could anticipate. Panic had consumed the colony, yet a flicker of something new, a spark of hope, glimmered in Lyra's chest. When the Terran fleet emerged from hyperspace, it was like a storm breaking over a drought-stricken land. One moment the void was empty, the next massive warships appeared, their hulls gleaming with the cold brilliance of Earth-forged alloys, their designs defying centuries of galactic convention. The Zelvorian scouts, sent ahead to assess the colony's status, evaporated under beams of directed energy that bent space around the target before collapsing in micro-explosions. "They've arrived," whispered Heron, and with that whisper, despair shattered. The first engagement was swift. A single Terran destroyer, the Tempest Vindicator, maneuvered like a predator among stunned Zelvorian dreadnoughts. Its weapons didn't just strike, they anticipated, calculating weak points in the alien designs and exploiting them with a precision no Zelvorian AI could match. In moments, a dreadnought that had terrified entire star systems was reduced to drifting fire and jagged metal. Lyra watched from her observation deck as entire squadrons of Terran fighters launched in synchronized swarms, weaving through asteroid fields and planetary rings, striking where Zelvorian sensors saw only void. It was not mere technology. It was strategy, creativity, and raw human ingenuity amplified by machines that obeyed the minds they were born to serve. The colony erupted in cautious celebration. Terran vessels shielded evacuation transports, repaired damaged facilities in minutes with self-deploying drones, and neutralized orbital artillery that had once promised annihilation. The colonists, once ready to surrender, now dared to dream. Yet the Zelvorian High Command, watching from their command nexus, could not comprehend what they were facing. Reports of human tactics, ancient and unpredictable, flooded in. The fleet's largest warships fell to coordinated strikes that seemed almost mystical in their execution. Entire sectors that had been terrorized for generations found themselves liberated in hours. On the battlefield, humans fought not just with firepower but with the courage that had earned their ancestors dominion over Earth's harshest landscapes. Soldiers piloting mecha suits moved with a ferocity that Zelvorian physiology could not match. Engineers rewrote the rules of energy transmission mid-combat, turning enemy weapons against them. And above all, the Terran admirals acted with the kind of audacity that legends are forged from. Lyra, finally able to step outside the hub onto the colony's surface, gazed skyward. The void was alive with the dance of Terran and Zelvorian ships, but the balance had shifted irrevocably. A single Terran battleship, the Aurora's Wrath, entered the fray, its presence alone scattering the Zelvorian formations like leaves before a gale. "They believed we would never arrive," Heron murmured beside her, voice trembling. "And now, they're learning what it means to face humanity." The Terrans moved with relentless precision, not because they feared loss, but because they embraced the thrill of challenge. They understood the Zelvorians had underestimated them, an arrogance common to every species that had ever looked at Earth and assumed weakness. Every strike, every calculated maneuver, carried the weight of human history. Survival against impossible odds, innovation in the face of despair, and the indomitable will to endure. By the time the battle waned, the Varnax 9 sector was no longer a graveyard but a testament. The Zelvorian fleet, once a symbol of invincibility, was reduced to scattered remnants fleeing into the void. Colonists, for the first time in decades, looked upon the stars not with fear, but with wonder. Lyra Selvik, standing among her people, felt an unfamiliar yet powerful sensation, hope that was not fragile but resolute. Humanity had arrived not as saviors dictated by prophecy, but as masters of their fate, capable of striking with the force of a tempest when the universe least expected it. And far beyond the sector, the Terran fleet vanished back into the shadows of hyperspace, leaving only the memory of their arrival. Legends would grow, stories would be told, and the galaxy would remember. Those who doubted humanity had learned too late that when humans strike, it is not just with weapons but with the tempest of ingenuity, courage, and unyielding will.